Hello, welcome to this video in which I'm going to show you the ninth round or the analysis of the ninth round of the Catalonia Championship. I already put the game completely and I already did the analysis. I think this is the best way to do it. I have been proving different ways and I think this is the most comfortable one, the most simple one, and so I decided to do it like this. These accuracies are completely out of line. I think they are way too high, like 85 for black. Okay, I'm black by the way, but I don't think I deserve an 85, not even close. But you're going to see what I mean when I when I play the game. Okay, I'm going to rotate the board, and we're just going to enter to the analysis. Okay, first d4. As you see, as you're going to see, it's the same as the third round. It's the same opening, a Queen's Gambit, and the most critical line. I played exactly the same. Here, this was the first change, like 92, to play, because then there's a plan with f3 to play e4. So that was a really nice plan, actually, by my opponent. It's really annoying to face it because it's even more annoying than the plan with knight f3 because queen c2 you have against queen c2 I have that plan to get the bishop straighted and my white bishop out, but against knight e2 I try to do the same thing, but it doesn't work nearly as well. Like look, play the good moves. Yeah, now I played an accuracy with c5. C6 is good, just keeping calm, but that's e4 coming. I was like these positions, like the call or this, for example, these are really annoying positions. Black has no plan exactly. If black tries to do something, it's worse. But if he does nothing, the attack of white fails. Like black just can't blunder. If they blunder, they will lose instantly. A little mistake will get punished by the attack. But if they play perfectly and really accurate, they are never going to lose because the attack is not really sound. So wow, that's a really annoying thing about this kind of things. I wanted to attack, like if they pressure you by the center, you attack by the side. That's a really known concept. Bishop f2, it's a blunder. I calculated this line. It seems like I misevaluated completely. Well, it's what has happened to me in a lot of games in this tournament. Knight takes pawn, and here, queen 5. It was my calculation, and I'm going to take the pawn back, and I thought that was absolutely fine. But the engine doesn't think so. In the position, I was worse, but I wasn't going to be material down. Bishop f2 blunder because it's passive, I suppose. Here I just treat the bishops, and here the engine says I equalized and I'm even fine. But now I just made a catastrophic blunder. Like, why knight d5? I just went for that tricky move to play knight b4 and get his white bishop. And if I get his good bishop, that's the white bishop, and I have my own white bishop, I'm going to be clearly better. But of course, the move was just trading knights and being in a fine position because knight takes knight, and I overall evaluated this like take. I thought this was better for white. It doesn't seem so. I thought like that. I just played 95, hit commander, and it seems like bishop c4 kills me. But bishop b5 is a mistake. But it was even more annoying for me. Bishop b5 because I just had to go back. But it says that rook e5, but I think he pins me, and there's a lot of trouble. It's the same that happened. Rook d1 and bishop f5. It's this is crazy. I just completely missed queen c5. And look at this. You're going to kind of laugh at this because it's a really funny tactic. Knight e3, it's completely absurd. Rook takes queen, and of course, in knight takes queen, I just blunder knight f6 and I lose a full rook. Knight takes queen, knight f6, king h8, rook takes rook, and I resign. That's my intuition. Actually, funny thing is I actually calculated that line. I don't- Not the knight f6 that I missed it, but I actually looked at this and said, well, if rook d1, I have knight e3 and I'm fine. But I did it here. After this, I thought rook d1 just lost against knight e3 here, missed bishop b5, and then recalculated rook d1 and thought knight e3. But in that moment, I just completely missed that, of course, there's knight f6. But then my intuition kind of, again, I reviewed and reviewed. I don't see a thing. I'm completely blind. Like knight e3, it's a beautiful move. With rook is queen, I can just pick the rook back. That's what you made. And I completely missed that. Even, mm, I don't know if a lot of people, I actually think that intuition in chess is really important. Like, I think it's a thing we all use. Like, the first move we see, the moves that when we calculate, we think about instantly, that's our intuition. And I thought about 93 instantly, but then I calculate and then I don't see. And actually, I thought about, well, if rook is queen, this is a thing I learned about my class with um, Dane, the national master who is really active in the improvers forum. Uh, and I just thought about the moves, about every move, about two moves. I compared them. I just looked at knight is queen, and I kind of thought about rook is rook, but I just thought rook is rook. I lose a piece. I lose a queen, and I'm just losing. But no, because I'm threatening the back rank. That was just such a huge miss, such a huge miss by calculation. Like it's absolutely crazy. It's a thing I can blunder in a blitz, in a rapid, but in a classical thinking. Because if I hadn't seen it, well, as I said in the eighth round recap, both things are annoying. Not seeing something, not seeing something or deciding wrong. Both are completely annoying. Not seeing that I have this tactical idea, it's really annoying, but deciding wrong. And this was a mix. I kind of saw the idea, but I didn't saw the reason why rook takes rook was fine. I just saw rook takes rook takes, and I thought I was losing. So I just decided no, I don't calculate anymore. If I had, and so I decided completely wrong. If I had thought for, I don't know, a long time, I may have realized like I'm threatening mate in one like rook check. If you go out with your queen, like I don't know, queen c4, I just mate you in two. So that was something crazy. I think it would have thrown my opponent so off that I think I would have won that game. We don't know, but tactic like this throws every opponent off. Like I just equalized, getting to an end game. I don't think I would have played like I had played. But of course, missed that, so I just played bishop f5, and I missing queen c5. While knight c3 was winning too. Everything was winning. Knight cf3, I thought I had knight e3, but wait, what? Knight e3? Look at what? So for what? Oh, rook is queen, knight is queen. Ah, and I just lost the piece. Okay, rook was fine. Okay, so huge miss by me. I just thought I had that. I didn't. And so queen c5. This is time to resign, actually. Normally, in the first rounds, in all the rounds, because we have another game next. We resign when it's time to resign. When there's no way we win the game, we just resign. Yeah, that's reasonable, and you show respect for the opponent and we don't lose our own time. The reason because we do that is not just because showing respect is a good thing, it's mostly because then we go to rest and try to not have such a bad game as we had previously. So to rest and have a better game uh, in the next day or in the evening, something like that. But this was the last round, so it didn't actually matter if I resigned or not. He didn't have a next game, I didn't have a next game. So if I don't have to rest for the next game, why resign? Like I have all the time in the world. I will go at the same hour. It's the same thing for me to resign, yeah, at that moment or to resign 20 moves later. So I decided to play. Um, really tried actually, and actually worked. I just went for moves that looked active. That lost completely. The bishop is bishop, pawn takes is an only move, of course. G3, queen G5. I just went for the moves that at the very least did something, like protect things, and queen H6 might be better for the engine, but queen G5 is the same idea, and it adds protection to the F5 pawn, so if they pressure it, I won't lose so quickly. Rook D4, A5, trying to get the passer. Rook H4, H6, only move to try to survive. And here, Knight H5, huge mistake. Here, if Queen F4, it was kind of a resignation time. I told him after the game that if he had played Queen F4, I still wouldn't have resigned. I probably would have played for a couple moves, but it's over. Like, there's no way I saved this. Like, Queen takes Queen, there's still Queen takes Queen. Game over. Well, it's the best move. That's just a mate threat. I don't know what I have to guess. I think I have to play 96 and then I'm surviving, but there's rook g2 and the mate is still there. So completely lost position. So h6, knight h5, huge mistake of, well, there was knight d4, but queen f4 was killing me because, of course, if I he plays queen f4, queen takes knight rook h6, and I'm down a queen. There's no way. I saved that. But knight h5, I play f6, and here it doesn't seem like a huge change, but here I have counterplay. Okay, it's plus two. It's completely winning for white if he plays accurately, yeah. But now I have a passer. His rook is kind of trapped temporarily. So I play accurately. Look at this. Now it's just a plus one. I then punish that. I just play king g6. I don't think I will have managed. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes. I don't understand what's the idea. I just don't. So I just play king g6. H4. I just played A4. I was kind of just making the moves quickly, like just trying to. I don't know. I was mad. I was just trying because, well, I didn't want to go home directly, but I knew I was probably going to lose. But here, they're trading queens, actually. Like I was talking about before, the trading queens, when there were queens on the board, I wasn't nearly sure that I could try to save it. Like I was just making the moves, just I don't know, pushing things and pushing pawns like the a5 a5 move. I don't know, just making the moves. But here I kind of got a bit excited and said, "Well, the rook is kind of trapped, and I have the passers. I'm going to at the very least try." And I started to kind of think more and calculate. And here my opponent blundered with h2. It says it's just an inaccuracy. I think this is the move that actually lost the game. Well, made a draw out of the game, but well, out of a completely winning position, a draw is kind of a loss. So here he got in trouble. Like if he had played, I don't know, rook f h2, as the engine says, this is impossible to make the draw. Like how? What I'm going to do? But here allows a3, and here b3 looks natural, but it says that it's a huge mistake to play rook fc8. I don't know why. It seems like after fc king takes, there's something I don't see. I don't see it. Like what? Okay, what was the idea? So forward. Oh, knight a2. Okay, that seems smart. Rook c2 completely blunders, and but it just is excellent because pawn takes pawn was stronger. And I didn't want to give him the time. Like she takes, I didn't know if he would realize the anti now says it as is a draw because it's going to become two rooks and a knight uh, versus two rooks and I have the pawns. So I'm just going to trade the pawns. There are not going to be pawns, and I'm supposed to defend the endgame. Yeah, I didn't want that. I just wanted to recover the material and get into a drawn endgame easy, not rook knight against rook. Because even if that's an easy defense, I don't know if it's that easy to hold for 50 moves. Here, a2 after a2, I offered the draw. My opponent just played g takes f5, check, king f4, and this didn't happen. This is analysis I made, like 4 moves, to look at if the endgame could be kind of robbed or something like that. Just because it looks like it. Like, because a friend of mine, after making the draw, he was telling me that I should have played. But what I'm going to do here, I just robbed. Uh, of course, I gave the draw because I was really nervous. In a completely, if this endgame had come from I don't know a normal position, I would have played at the very least a few moves, trying a bit. But it had come from a completely losing position. I was really happy about saving it. So, and I was really nervous. So I just said here, draw. Well, actually, here, here I offered a draw. And my opponent just took it because he was really disappointed, really annoyed at himself. And of course, just, he just was, I don't know. He told me that he kind of got overconfident, that that was probably his biggest mistake. I don't think that was. I think it was mostly like, as I say, it was mostly technique, lack of technique of conversion. Like, why would you play Kune for? Like, why would you? I don't know. Go for a knight h5, complicated stuff, missing f6. Why? Just play Queen f4. It's over. I just have to trade queens. It's impossible that I rob an endgame like this without queens. It's impossible. If we trade it in a good manner, I'm saying, of course, if you have the activity, the material, then you're completely winning. But here, he traded the queens, but of course, he traded them, but with his own rook, he had to trade a lot of pawns to avoid a rook, trapped rook. Of course, that's, well, I don't know. Fine, yeah. But if he trades all the pawns, it's a draw. Like, if there are no pawns, it's a theoretical draw. I have to defend, but it's a draw. So he cannot trade pawns. If he got in a position when he needs to trade pawns, I would have probably here rook h3. Like, rook h3 is better than his move. Yeah, it's just, and you are going to play g4, and that's fine. But here he complicated himself, and here his blunder with b3. I blundered back. I don't know why that's not good enough. It seems like good enough. I just looked, I just thought he was going to blunder. I don't know. I had a feeling that he was going to blunder. Rook takes knight. It's kind of an obvious tactic. It's a nice tactic, but it's kind of obvious. Takes, draw. So kind of nice draw. As you see, like a completely wrong precision. I just blundered the piece and I have an 85. That's completely out of line. I should have, I don't know, 70. I think this game was worse than other games in which I got 78. Like, it was a terrible game. I saved it. It was, I don't know, a draw. So, okay, not not happy with how I played, not happy with getting the draw at the end. So that's mostly the recap. As you see, another crazy thing, it says that I played at 2300. That's, I don't know, 2000. Like, it's a 2000 level. I don't know. I don't think 2000 should blunder the pieces so easily. But okay, if he thinks that, so that's where I'm going to leave the recap. I hope you enjoyed it. And bye.